हरे कृष्णा। तो आप सभी का स्वागत है। आज हम लोग श्रीमती राधारानी के बारे में कुछ गुणगान करेंगे। मैं प्रयास करूंगी कि श्रीमती राधारानी के बारे में जो कुछ भी मैंने गुरुजनों से सुना है वो मैं प्रयास करूंगी। आई विल ट्राई टू स्पीक समथिंग अबाउट श्रीमती राधारानी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाखाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you. So there is a very nice shloka which says that Halladini karaya Krishna ananda aswadan ami jiva shudra buddhi sahaja astira Ishwar lila koti samudra gambhira. She says that Halladini karaya Krishna ananda aswadanam, and he says that we are shudra buddhi. Shudra buddhi means what? We forget Radha and Krishna Leela, and we forget that Radha and Krishna Leela cannot be understood. So, therefore, means why Krishna did this, why Krishna did that, and then what to speak of Krishna Leela. People cannot understand even Maya's Leela. So, or they cannot even understand the knowledge of the academics or school or knowledge. So, Ami Shudra Buddhi, Ami Jiva Shudra Buddhi Sahaja Astira. Ishwar Leela Koti Samudra Gambhira. So, Sahaj Astir means, our minds are completely, very easily agitated also. So then he says that, so in any Leela, a person needs, if he these three things are not there, then the mind becomes very agitated. If there is no appreciation, if there is no accumulation, or if there is no accomplishment, then the mind easily gets very agitated. So what a jiva with limited intelligence and constantly agitated mind will understand the Radha Tattva or the pastimes of Srimati Radharani. So Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is actually Kamal Manjari in the spiritual world, so he said that I was confused when I read the Rasa Pancha Adhyaya. Till I read the Chaitanya-Caritamrita, I understood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. So basically, we do not have that prerequisite or the qualification to understand the subject matter. And so till we don't understand these three things, like we must not dive into the Ishwar Leela or the God's Leela. So they say, that whole whales and sharks of our desire will devour us and finish us off if we try to understand prematurely. So in 1969, Srila Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, Srila Satsudeva Maharaj and Hegriv Maharaj and Kedanan Maharaj, they all had formed a BTG team, Back to Godhead team. And that's how the Back to Godhead magazine was formed. And they came together to understand that what will our Back to Godhead magazine contain. what are the contents of the Back to Godhead magazine? So they say that 4 things. When a person comes in our movement, these are the 4 steps in which, that person should progress. One is, we can awaken them by giving them knowledge. We can train them. We can help them understand the Supreme Lord's the knowledge about the Supreme Lord, and whatever he has grasped, then we have to help him to absorb in those whatever he has heard, an application part, in fact. So then, when we say awaken, why do we need to awaken people? People are already awake. They're not sleeping. Of course, when they come to the temple, they're awake. But people are sleeping in ignorance, agyanta mein. And that is why they need to be awakened. When we say, no, jeev jago, jeev jago. So, a deaf man cannot hear. So, we have come, why? Because we have become so deaf to that sound that is around us. And actually, Krishna is speaking us always through the Bhagavad Gita. And through the Bhagavad Gita, through so many instances, circumstances, through life's, lessons and all. But we have become so deaf, and that is why, to awaken them from their ignorance, we actually need to give them a hearing aid. And what is that hearing aid? The Bhagavad Gita is like a hearing aid. And when we use this hearing aid of Bhagavad Gita, we all will be awakened, including the others also whom we are telling them about. So, Srila Prabhupada, in one of these lectures of Radhasthami, that whole lecture actually Srila Prabhupada gave on, Dehinosmin yatha dehe, kaumaram yavanam jaram. That we are not this body. And why? Because the first step is actually awakening, using this hearing aid of Bhagavad Gita. Then basically when you say awaken, means to give them sambandha jnana. Sambandha jnana of what? Sambandha jnana of dhyan sambandha with Krishna. So now you might be wondering, ki hum to Radhasthami ka class sunne aaye hain, and she is giving a philosophy class, but I'm coming to that. Slowly I'm coming to the Radharani's pastimes also. Then we give training. Training is abhideh. What is the path? So after they have awakened, what they will say that, okay, I want to take initiation. And then after initiation, then we train them. Training how, like how the Krishna conscious life should be, how to practice Krishna conscious life. So once the CEO was asked by a reporter that what is the secret of your success? So, this reporter is asking, what is the secret of your success? So the CEO says, right decisions. So then the reporter is asking, how to make right decisions? So he's saying, by experience. And then the reporter is asking, how to get experience? The CEO is telling, by making wrong decisions. So if one makes wrong decisions in life, then he gets a good experience of what to do and what not to do. But that is actually, you can say, third class training. So experience is the best teacher, and only fools learn by it. There is a saying, so the first class learning is actually by hearing. And that is why Back to Godhead has only 2 purposes. That Back to Godhead magazine has only 2 purposes. One is awaken and one is training. And it has understanding and absorption also, the other 2 aspects also. So understanding and absorption is actually the prayojan, that is the goal. So understanding means what? When sufficiently the living entities are awakened and trained, then they will understand Radha Krishna Leela. Then they will get absorbed in the Radha Krishna Leela. And so that is actually the absorption part, is the Paramhamsa stage, that is the Prayojan stage. So once in Bhubaneswar, in 19 so once in Bhubaneswar in what do you say in 1977 these they wanted to actually make a movie on the 10th canto, and they came to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said that I am not qualified to actually speak on these subject matters, and I cannot tell you anything about the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Now people might wonder, ki Prabhupada is telling about that he does not know the pastimes of Radha. So somebody might ask that, okay, who is Srimati Radharani? What is her tattva? Who is she? So in the Chaitanya-Caritamrita, there is a shloka which says that राधा कृष्ण आईचे सदा एकही स्वरूप लीला रस आस्वादिते धरे दुई रूप. Saying that God is one, Radha Krishna is sada ekhi swarup. God is one, but for tasting that loving interaction and pastimes, Leela Rasa Aswadane Dhare Dui Roop. Do Roop, two forms they have taken. So, Dhare Dui Roop means one ka two. So, Eko Bahushyama. So, one God expanded into many. And why? Leela Aswadite. To relish the pastime. So basically Krishna is Atmaram and he does not need anything. Then why he became two? So then he says that Leela Aswadite, for relishing the loving, internal dealings with his devotees. So therefore when we understand Radha and Krishna, one should understand that there is Siddhanta also and there is Leela also. There is philosophy also and there is pastime also. So in the philosophy, Krishna is God. He does not need anything. He is Atma Rama. But in Leela, he needs Srimati Radharani. But from Leela point of view, Krishna is a person, and therefore, because he is a person, he needs, Radharani's expansion for the sake of pleasure, because there is fun. So he says that, Vidyate na yatra kshotra vaktaram tatra karishyati. Kim. So he's telling that अगर श्रोता ही नहीं होगा तो वक्ता क्या करेगा? If there is no audience only, then what will the speaker speak? Or what relishment will the speaker get? So then, Srimati Radharani is the feminine expansion of Krishna. Krishna only, but in a female form. So, what is the greatness of Srimati Radharani? Somebody might ask that, okay, what is, why Krishna expanded himself, as Srimati Radharani? Because she is Krishna's internal energy, Antaranga Shakti she is. So she is the personification of love, Mahabhava Swarupini. She has the power to even control Krishna. She controls Krishna how? She controls Krishna by her love. So in Siddhanta, Krishna is God. But in Leela, Krishna is controlled by Srimati Radharani. In Siddhanta, Krishna is greater than Srimati Radharani. But in Leela, Srimati Radharani is greater than Krishna. In Siddhanta, Krishna controls everyone and everything. But in Leela, Radharani controls even Krishna. So outside Vrindavan, Krishna controls everyone. But inside Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani controls. And therefore, she is called Vrindavaneshwari. She is the queen of Vrindavan. And therefore, she is great. And because she can control Krishna by her love, that is why she is great. So, Radha and Krishna, somebody might ask, okay, Radha and Krishna are doing Leela. What is my benefit? मुझे क्या फायदा है? दोनों तो लीला कर रहे हैं, मेरा क्या फायदा है? So there is a very big benefit. There is their enjoyment is giving us hope. Their love affair is creating trouble. When Radha and Krishna interact with each other, what is the hope? And Srimati Radharani deals with Krishna. So Krishna is actually confused. Krishna cannot understand, three things. He cannot understand three things. What three things he cannot understand? That he cannot understand Radharani's love. He cannot understand that what is the happiness Srimati Radharani is experiencing for Krishna. And the third thing that he cannot understand, that what is her ecstasy for Krishna. These are the three things, Krishna is confused. So Krishna also does not understand, and that is why there is Leela. So in Siddhanta, he knows everything. In Siddhanta, Krishna knows. But in Leela, Krishna also cannot understand Srimati Radharani. So there is a very great saint called Sri Tukaram Maharaj. He says that कौमुदिनी काय जाणे परिमळ भ्रमर सकळ भोगीत असे माते तृण बाळ दुधाची ती गोडी. So he says that कौमुदिनी काय जाणे परिमळ. He says that what does the lotus flower know? What is its taste? So कभी कमल ने अपने अंदर का शहद चखा है? नहीं चखा है. So then who will know? भ्रमर सकळ. Brahmar will know. The bumblebee will know. So we should ask the bumblebee and not the lotus how the honey tastes. So what does Krishna know? What does Krishna know about his own sweetness? So whom to ask then? Ask the devotee. So mate trina bala dudhachi ti godi. He says ask the calf. The calf goes and drinks the cow's milk. What will the cow tell that, how sweet the milk is? So what will Krishna tell? Krishna क्या बताएंगे कि उनकी क्या मधुरता है? What is his sweetness? How can Krishna tell? So devotees are like calves. They are like bumblebees. Now devotees means only Srimati Radharani. So, and that's why Krishna comes to this material world as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to relish this love. Yadi gaur na hoy to tabe ki hoy to teke mone dharin tam dehi. So their enjoyment, their pastimes is our hope. Is our hope that this is Srimati Radharani's greatness. She transforms the God of law into the God of love. So Krishna is God of love, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the God of mercy, the God of love. So Krishna made a law. Ye yatha ma prapadyante tam tatekshma. So what is happening? Krishna बोलेंगे कि जिस मात्रा में, to the degree somebody surrenders to me, I will also, surrender to that person. So till he comes to me, I will not go to him. This is what, who is saying? Krishna is saying this. But Srimati Radharani's love affair transforms this God of love, God of law into God of love. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go door to door and reach out to the conditioned souls. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada says that the devotee is greater than Krishna many a times. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of a devotee. And that is why when Srila Prabhupada went to the West, so what is the greatness of Srimati Radharani? She is transforming the god of love into the god of the god of law into the Srimati Radharani transforms the god of law into the god of love. So you come to know the greatness of a person by who is hanging around that particular person, right? Who is worshipping that particular person. So who is trying to worship Srimati Radharani? So one person is willing to change his species to worship her. Uddhava wants to enter Vrindavan into the into the midst of the gopis, and from the human species he wants to transform himself into a trin, into a blade of grass. He wants to transform. The second person is willing to change his sex to worship Srimati Radharani. Shivji, Narad Muni, they want to change. In Kusum Sarovar, Narad became Naradiya Gopi. Shivji goes and takes dip into the Mansi Ganga and he becomes Gopeshwar Mahadev, Gopiyo ki Ishwar. Another person, third person is willing to become matter and change and worship her. Patthar bhi banna chahte hai. So Brahma wants to become a stone in Barsana. Dangad, Mangad, Vilasgad, so that the dust of Srimati Radharani can be maintained on his four heads. Brahma has 4 heads, right? So, what is our disqualification to understand Radha and Krishna Leela? Who is Srimati Radharani? What is her tattva? What is her greatness? So, to understand Srimati Radharani, what is her role? So, her role is, Krishna Kaviraj Goswami says that, Halladini karaya Krishna anande, aswadana halladini dware kare bhakta poshana. So, he says that, Halladini, what is the Halladini? Halladini is the pleasure potency of Krishna. And one who gives pleasure to Krishna is who? Srimati Radharani. She makes him relish that bliss. How she makes him relish that bliss? By several things. Firstly, Srimati Radharani means giving pleasure, santosh. So, she does not only is taking, happiness, but she is giving also. So, Srila Prabhupada says, what is the definition of the Krishna conscious movement? Srila Prabhupada says that the Krishna conscious movement means Hari Toshanam, giving satisfaction to satisfy and please Krishna. Hari ko santushta karna hai, to give satisfaction and please Krishna. So, we have these banks. There was a bank named Dena Bank, and generally we have a Lena Bank, taking bank. So it's not Lena Bank, but it is Dena Bank. So what is Radharani? She knows only how to give Krishna. She does not know how to take, that way. So by 4 things, Srimati Radharani gives bliss to Krishna. So, in I think Montreal, when Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture, so there he sang, that Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkutta Vrinda Vipineshe. So saying Veshe. So she wants to increase that pleasure, the Rati, for whom? Damodar, for Krishna. And how she wants to increase that Rati for Damodar? Veshe, the way she dresses up. She dresses in a way which can give pleasure to Krishna. So, we devotees also, we dress in a certain way when we move out. It's not like that we move out in a very uncomfortable way where people will just, mock at us. So we dress in a way to give pleasure to Krishna. In the material world, people dress in a way to give pleasure to themselves. So that is actually ego. But when we dress in a way which gives pleasure to Krishna, then that is giving pleasure to Krishna. Then the second is that where, by cooking for Krishna. So cooking for the pleasure of Krishna. So if you see Srimati Radharani, from time immemorial, Anant Kal se Radharani ने एक भी item 2 बार repeat नहीं किया है. She has not repeated one item twice at all. So this is Srimati Radharani. And Radharani is actually, she's the Swamini. She is the best cook in the whole cosmic manifestation. So two things actually Krishna is, pleased by Radharani. One is her cooking and the other is her dancing. Because she is dancing like this, everything is happening in our society. And if she stops dancing for the pleasure of Krishna, then gone, doomed. So that is why she is, she is the pleasure-giving potency of Krishna. The third thing is that he says that Panchatvatanu moti bhutani mahaswa swamahasha milanatu dhruva. So Srimati Radharani is actually praying to Brahma that, Dhatara. Dhatara means, O Creator, I surrender unto you. I am bowing down before you. I am praying that when I die, so this is Srimati Radharani's prayer to Brahma, who is the creator of this universe. So he's saying that when I die, each of my 5 elements should, give bliss to Krishna. So let the earth element of my body be mixed with the dust of Vrindavan, to have sports for Krishna. Let the water element of my body mix with Yamuna waters so that he can relish that bath. Let the fire element of my body mix with the flame of the fire which is lit to lamp, in the house or for cooking. So when Krishna looks into, that mirror in that lamp, then he can decorate himself and let the air element of my body mix with the air. So when Krishna is being fanned, he gets pleasure. Let the ether element of my body in the courtyard of, Nanda and Yashoda, so that he can enjoy the pastimes. So to the extent she goes, this is the extent Srimati Radharani is going to give pleasure to Krishna. And the fourth is that whatever pleases Krishna, I am ready to do that. This is Srimati Radharani, that she wants to just live for the pleasure of Krishna. She just wants that Krishna be happy all the time. So she over here is the personification of, sacrifice everything for Krishna's pleasure. And of course, there are many, many pastimes about Srimati Radharani, and Radharani has many names according to her qualities and characteristics, and how Krishna and Radha have their intimate pastimes. If you see, there are many, many intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna given in many of our Gaudiya Sampradaya, books like Bigad Madhav, Lalit Madhav, all these pastimes of Radha and Krishna are given in these particular books. And if we see these books, as I previously also told, that these pastimes are there for philosophy also, and pastime also. So when you have Leela, then you have Tattva. And if you see, that is why Srila Prabhupada, wherever there is Leela in the Srimad Bhagavatam, he will always give a philosophy behind it. And wherever, Radha and Krishna pastimes are there, then there is something to learn from those pastimes also. Because the relationship between Radha and Krishna, it's actually indicating that Yoga Maya, in this context, that Radharani is Krishna's Haladini Shakti, and Radharani is Krishna's original internal pleasure potency. And that is why, due to the worship of Radharani, Krishna is being controlled. And, wherever Radharani or Krishna never leaves, wherever Radharani is there, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He runs through the forest of Vrindavan, playing with his friends, cowherd boys, cows, and he's engaging. And all the gopis, they would love to hear from Mother Yashoda singing about the glories of Krishna. So Srimati Radharani is very much keen to hear, the glories of Krishna, especially his pastimes, but she is particularly attracted to the Damodar pastime. And she's charmed by that Damodar mood of surrender, that he has agreed to surrender to his mother, and he gets binded up, and she desires, to she also actually longs to have that same exchange with Krishna, and she desires to express such an intense love for Krishna that he also agreed to get binded by her love. So once what had happened is that Krishna had reached late, and Radharani was very angry with Krishna, because Krishna, in the spiritual world, we know that there are two parties. Okay, there is Chandravali party and there is Srimati Radharani's party. Now, what exactly happens is that when Krishna goes to meet Chandravali, then of course Chandravali's love also captivates her a lot. And Chandravali's love also, is very intense for Krishna. So Krishna spends a little more time with Chandravali. And here, Srimati Radharani is also there, waiting for Krishna. So then Radharani is waiting and Krishna comes late. Then she gets angry. And then when she gets angry, so there is in Vrindavan, near Barsana, there is a tree. So what she does is, she ties Krishna to that particular tree. And that is why we say many times, Yashoda Damodar and Radha Damodar also. Radharani had also actually binded Krishna, and Krishna got bound also. And of course, after some times, she felt pity on him and she actually unbounded him also. So, Jiva Goswami has written that Radharani always performs austerities simply to bind Krishna more and more with her love. Because without Krishna, she cannot bear to live even a moment. And it is because of Radharani's worship or Aradhana, you can say, that Krishna that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And that is why Radharani is the presiding deity or the queen of Vrindavan. And and even in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, so anybody who does fasting in the month of Damodar, then the Lord is very much pleased, and that is why we perform a lot of austerities in the month of Kartik, and we take certain vows, and in the month of Kartik, and uh, when when Krishna is also many times, uh, praising her beautiful form. In the Ujjwal Neelmani, actually, Krishna is praising her. He says that, your locks, the curly hair of yours is beautiful, and it is like, it is lotus-like, and you have very beautiful face, and, you very elegant face and all. And uh, then over there, uh, in Ujjwal Neelmani, I very faintly remember, don't remember too much, but there he is actually, completely glorifying Srimati Radharani's beauty, and, all her ornaments also he's describing, and she's wearing ornaments on her ears, and she's, smeared with camphor, she's smeared with sandal paste. These are all auspicious things. When you smear all these things, there is auspiciousness prevailing around you all the time. Then she's wearing flowers on her hair and garland around her neck, and she's carrying her lotus flower, and she has tambula or pan in her mouth, and she has a nice dot on her chin, and she's wearing kajal all around her eyes, and in her cheeks she has some musk paintings of dolphins as such. So even her lotus feet are painted with red paint, and she's wearing a tilaka on her forehead. So all these things are described in Ujjwal Neelmani. If somebody wants to read, you can say. So there are many eightfold pastimes also of Lord Radha and Krishna, like there's the morning waking up time, and that is called Pratah Leela, where the Radharani and Krishna, they wake up and then they have breakfast. Then there are noon pastimes where Krishna is going with his cowherd friends, and these cowards, these big elderly gopas, Nanda and Gopas and Gopis, Nanda and Yashoda, they are waiting for Krishna. And there are midday pastimes, Madhyana Leela, where Krishna is entering the forest, and with his flute he's attracting and moving everybody, the moving entities and the non-moving entities as such. And how so uh, you know uh, there are 6 seasons in just one day over there. There is Krishna is experiencing such an ecstatic, festival of spring. There is waterfall, there is summer, there are lotuses, there is autumn, there is winter, and Krishna is decorating. Then, how gopis are also expressing their love for Krishna, because meeting Krishna is the only thing they can, just they can think of, because if they don't meet Krishna, then there is an anguish in the mind of the gopis, and there is there is an anticipation to meet Krishna, uh, which thrills them. And actually, the Yogamaya, creates a duplicate body for the gopis who leave for the forest to give their husbands and in-laws the impression that, okay, they are laying in the bed. And Radha and the gopis hear, Krishna's flute song while picking flowers of the forest. Then Krishna's flute drowns the sorrow in their hearts. Then the Sakhis find Krishna. Um they bring their friends close to Krishna, and they are picking flowers, and then they are talking to each other, and Krishna is looking at Srimati Radharani, and then there is the conversation between Radha and Krishna, and Radha converses, and there are many other pastimes if you see. But primarily, if somebody is really interested in those pastimes, you should read actually those pastimes of Radha and Krishna, where there is a book called Mathura meets Vrindavan, and it's a very, very beautiful book written by His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. And in that particular book, where Mathura meets Vrindavan, it's such a beautiful book where if you try and see in that book, all the internal pastimes where Srimati Radharani gets very angry, and then Krishna comes and Krishna tries to pacify Radharani. Krishna tries to even uh, Krishna tries to even uh, pacify Radharani in many, 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 many ways. And uh, how Srimati Radharani also, how Srimati Radharani also tries to pacify Krishna when Krishna gets angry, and how Radharani's all dear companions also, they also, stop Krishna from meeting Radharani. So these are some of the really wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan, because Vrindavan means actually the meeting of Radha and Krishna. And if you see in the first 3 chapters of the 10th canto, there is the appearance of Lord Krishna. And Krishna's appearance is also, why Krishna comes, and how Nanda Maharaj take his vow, and then how Yashoda's pregnancy and all is there over there. But how Mathura is meeting Vrindavan, that how from Mathura Krishna comes to Vrindavan, and how these two places are so very important. And then how from Devki's womb, Krishna is transformed to Yashoda's womb. All these pastimes are being actually given over there in Mathura meets Vrindavan. But there are 5 types of rasas. One is the fraternal love. There is the paternal love also, Vatsalya ras also, and there is the Sakhya ras also. There is the Madhurya ras also is being given. There is the conjugal love also, that because these gopis, these are Madhura ras bhaktas, and how these Vraja gopis, they actually the real love for God, is actually with these gopis, with their with their love for Krishna. Because when if you see Radharani's love for Krishna is known as Bhamya Bhava. That is the mood of the left wing gopi. So the gopi Chandravati is the rightest and Radharani is the left. क्योंकि कृष्ण के लेफ्ट से निकली है राधारानी, कृष्ण से राइट से निकली है चंद्रावली. So out of pure love for Radharani, sometimes Radharani sometimes develops, abhiman. And if Krishna goes to Chandravali's kunja, then Radharani becomes very sulky. She becomes very anxiety. And then she says that, oh, these black men, they are very much unreliable. I won't see black men at all. And then she becomes completely mad. She cannot eat anything. She does not sleep. She gives up everything and she's just wandering about, speaking to the stones and pillars and trees and seeing even the black sky at night. She's roaring in anger, very black face, unreliable people. And these are all the symptoms of this, sometimes she becomes completely mad. So, Radharani is feeling separation from Krishna, and that is why she's become mad, because Krishna has gone to Chandravali's Kunja. And when Krishna finally comes, Radharani's Sakhis, Vishaka and Lalita tell them that, oh, you get out from here. Get out from here. Why have you come over here? Our Pran Priya Sakhi, our most beloved, she doesn't want to look at you. Get out from here. Go to Chandravali. You were there and you were feeling happy, go. So this is actually, you can say, sweet Leela. This is called actually Madhurya Ras. We cannot find such rasas, in Mathura or Dwarka. So in Mathura and Dwarka, that love is actually, you can say that love is mixed with Jnana and Aishwarya. And the real love for God actually is, begins with, though, of course, Aishwarya. But Srila Prabhupada, says that there are 5 stages of loving service to the Supreme Lord. One is Shantyaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras. And Devaki is on the platform of Vatsalyaras. So, and these are some of the pastimes that are there as Madhurya Ras. And and in the in Vraj Bhumi, Krishna also appears in a form. And in what form he appears, then either he takes a Gopi Vesha, Venukera, Navakishora, Natavara, and a beautiful form of Kishore Krishna. So these are, these are some of the forms that Krishna takes to please his devotees. And in Vraj Bhumi, Krishna displays his very sweet transcendental leelas. And, with Mother Yashoda also, with Nand Maharaj also, with the Gopas also, the Gopis also. And if you read the Bhagavatam has all these lovely descriptions between, between Krishna and his devotees. So in Chaitanya-Caritamrita, there is where Mahaprabhu has said that Veda Shastra ka hai sambandha abhideya prayojan Krishna Krishna Bhakti Prema Tina Mahadhana. So Krishna Bhakti and Krishna Prema. These are what three? These are 3 Mahadhana. So Krishna is the central point of attraction and his service is our activity. To attain the platform of love for Krishna is life's ultimate goal. And therefore, Krishna's service and love of Krishna. These are the three great riches of life. कोई बोलेगा कि आपके पास क्या धन है? तो हमारे पास धन है जो इस जन्म में खत्म हो जाएगा. लेकिन when we say Krishna, I have Krishna, Krishna service and love for Krishna. These are the three riches. So even in the Vedas also, you know, three tattva, sambandha tattva, abhideya tattva and prayojan tattva. Sambandha is Krishna, abhideya is Krishna bhakti, and prayojan is Krishna prema. Repeat after me. Sambandha is Krishna, abhideya is Krishna bhakti, and prayojan is Krishna prema. प्रयोजन यानी गोल क्या है, अभिधेय यानी आप किस मार्ग पे चले, on what path you are going on. So sambandha means relation. There is only one relation, which is the relationship with Krishna. There is no other relationship. And that is why if you see, Krishna is bent in three places. Tribhanga Lalita, indicating that these three tattvas are Sambandha Tattva, Abhideya Tattva and Prayojan Tattva. So he's bent, his first bend, you can say Bhanga, is at the lotus feet. And the second bend is in his lips. कई लोग बोलेंगे hips है, लेकिन it is in the lips. And the left hand side is bent towards Srimati Radharani. And the third bend is in the heart. So the first are the feet, which represent Sambandha Tattva relationship. Then, so if you see, even the Sambandha Tattva has a presiding deity also. The presiding deity of Sambandha is Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohana. Then the second bend is in his lips, which is actually Abhideya Tattva Bhakti. So the presiding deity for Abhideya Tattva is Shri Radha Govinda. And the third bend is in the heart. That is the Prayojan Tattva, that is the Prema. So the presiding deity of Prayojan Tattva is Radha Gopinath. So, the Vedas, they are giving, all these three, invaluable assets, teen mahadhana. And only a fortunate jiva who gets these invaluable assets becomes rich with Krishna Prema. And he'll be really very happy. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get happiness. So, that is why these three things are really very important. And if somebody, gets this, it's very, very, so, somebody recently was asking me that, do we understand this word madhurya? Madhurya means actually sweetness. But in English, sweetness is not that exact sweetness. So, you have some word called madhurya. So, Krishna's form is Madhurya Rasa. That form is Nanda Nandan Krishna, Yashoda Nandan Krishna in Vrajabhumi. He is Swayam Bhagwan, the original personality of Godhead. And who can understand that Madhurya? Only the Premi Bhaktas can understand. Otherwise, nobody can understand. And Krishna is dealing with the Vrajavasis, the residents of Vraja. So, nobody can understand. And then in Vrajabhumi, in what form does he appear? Gopavesha, Venu, Kara, Navakishora. So the beautiful form he has he's holding the flute. With that Venu Kara, he has a flute in his hand. And this flute is not in Mathura or Dwarka. Or this flute is not there in Ram Avatar. And therefore, only Krishna in Vrajabhumi is Madhurya Nilaya, the reservoir of all Madhuryas. You will never find these Madhurya in any other form of Krishna. So, and the love that he has for the gopis, the gopas, and Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, he likes to be bound by love. So those who are in Sakhya ras, those who are in Vatsalya ras, he likes to be bound, with that particular love. And he relishes that love between, uh, uh, you know, the gopis, the gopas. In fact, even to that extent of he likes to be, defeated by Srimati Radharani. And when he is defeated by Srimati Radharani, uh, he is into intense happiness. Intense happiness when Radharani is angry, um, mm, then that's how, he he tries to pacify Srimati Radharani. And in the book, Mathura meets Vrindavan. So, there are many pastimes of, Radha and Krishna, but one specific pastime where once Radharani had really got angry, and there is actually, uh, uh, many leelas of Krishna based on tattva. If one understands the tattva, then they will relish that mellow. Otherwise, it is very difficult to relish that mellow. And because in tattvas also there are levels. If somebody understands that level, so it's not like, there are grandmother stories. No, the leelas of Krishna and Radha based on tattva. And if somebody will understand that tattva, then he will be able to relish, otherwise very difficult. So Krishna is performing many pastimes in Vraja, and right from his boyhood to, his sakhas. One day one coward, boy, he came to the house of Nand Maharaj. He's like, where is Krishna? And Nand Maharaj said, oh, he must be playing at the bank of the Yamuna. And the boy said, oh, I just came back from Yamuna. He wasn't there. I didn't see him. Then Nand Maharaj said, okay, maybe he's playing at Vamsivata. Go and see at Vamsivata. So the boy said, no, I am coming from, there was another boy who came from Vamsivata saying, no, I am coming from Vamsivata. Krishna is not playing there. I didn't see him there. Then Nand Maharaj saying that, oh, maybe he's playing, he's gone to Vrishabhanu's house. Vrishabhanu is Radharani's father. So then the another boy is telling, oh, I've come from Vrishabhanu's house. He's not over there. He's not gone over there also. Then Nand and Yashoda, they become very, anxious. They become very, hey, where is he? Where is he? Where is Krishna? And they started searching. But all this time, he was hiding himself behind the door in that same house. And then he jumps out and he says, bah, I'm here. So everyone ran there and, said, finally you are here. We are searching for you everywhere. Where are you? And then Krishna laughed. So in this way, he's giving pleasure to Nand and Yashoda. He's giving pleasure to his, friends. And so, if you see, Krishna's friend Subala, one day Srimati Radharani, she made a very nice flower garland for Krishna. And she gave it to Vrinda Devi. And she said that you take and give this to Krishna. And Vrinda Devi thought that Subal Sakha is actually a Priya Narma Sakha of Krishna. He's very dear to Krishna. So if Subal Sakha takes and gives it to Krishna, then Krishna will become very pleased. So what Vrinda Devi does is, because Vrinda Devi is, an expansion of Yogmaya over there, she gives that garland to Subal Sakha. Now Krishna was sitting on the bank of Radha Kund, and Subal Sakha came and gave that garland to Krishna. And then he explained everything what had happened, and who had prepared that garland, and how this came into, Krishna's hand, and how Subal Sakha is handing over that garland to Krishna. So then Krishna said, oh, I was just sitting here thinking about Radharani when you bought me her garland. My mind is so much agitated now. Bring Radharani here now. Now he's actually saying, no, I want Radharani. Please bring her here. I want to meet her. Now Subal Sakha says that, hey, it is not good time to meet, it is noon time. It is quite impossible to bring Radharani now over here. So he's telling, no, no, no. Subal Sakha is telling that, please, forget about her. Just now it is very impossible. And Krishna said, see, now my mind is very restless. Now it has become very agitated. Unless you will bring Radharani for me, then otherwise I will drown myself in this Yamuna river. And my life is finished. I will not be able to survive without her. Now Subal Sakha is thinking that my friend cannot survive. He will drown in the Yamuna. All right, by hook or crook, somehow I must bring Radharani and give pleasure to my friend. Then, see, even the Sakhas, what is their mentality? They want to give pleasure to Krishna, their friend. So, Subal Sakha is always understanding Krishna's mentality. They know what Krishna is thinking and how they can help him and give him pleasure. Now, and this is actually Sakhyaras. Sweet, madhur Sakhyaras. And, these are, he's the Priya Narma Sakha. And these Priya Narma Sakhas are very, very dear to Krishna. So, Subal Sakha, he went to Yavat, where Radharani's, father-in-law is there in this house. And Radharani's mother is Jatila. And she had just finished taking her lunch and was sitting at the, right at the doorstep of the house. And the doorstep of the house is actually facing Srimati Radharani's room ka window. So when she saw Subal, she said that, hey, why have you come? It's noon time. And this boy has come here for some purpose, I'm sure. He's a naughty boy and he's going to do some mischief over here. He's saying, why you come this time, this afternoon time? Then Subal Sakha, very, politely said, one of my calves, it is missing. And I've come here searching for that calf. And I cannot find it. Have you seen somewhere, mother, please go and see, where my calf is. Then I'll be, freed from that anxiety. If I know where my calf is, and if my calf is not here, then I will go away from here. Then Jatila becomes very angry. She's saying, see, I have already taken lunch and I cannot move myself even an inch. You go inside and see if your calf is inside. Go take it and then you go back. Then Subal Sakha was just expecting her to say this. Now, it was very difficult to go inside because she was sitting at the doorstep. So, he got the opportunity. So, all this arrangement of Krishna Leela takes place by the wonderful arrangement of Yogamaya. So, then remembering Yogamaya, then Subal Sakha prayed and then entered into that inner chamber where Srimati Radharani is. And he told Radharani everything, that how Krishna is, anxious to meet you and he's in anxiety and all that. And Krishna is sitting there on the bank of the Radha Kund, intensely waiting for Radharani. And he's telling, you have to go there. Otherwise, he will drown himself in the Yamuna. Now, Radharani said that, how will it be? My mother-in-law, she's sitting outside at the doorstep. How can I go? It is impossible. And, but then, what is impossible for, somebody wants to meet Krishna. So, then Radharani says that, see, you are also anxious. Then if you are anxious, you do something to give pleasure to Krishna. So Krishna can do and undo also things. You do something. So then for us, Krishna only gives us the intelligence. Pure intelligence, if you see, comes from Krishna. If you really want to please Krishna, then definitely that pure intelligence will come from Krishna. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajata priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yenama upayantite. So those who are constantly devoted to serving Krishna, Krishna gives them that intelligence via which they can come to Krishna. So, and why is Krishna saying that satata yuktanam? Those who are constantly engaged in my bhajan with preeti, with love, I give them that pure intelligence. So, so the intelligence came what should be done then? So then Subal Sakha has that same appearance as Radharani. Subal Sakha, dressed himself as Radharani. And Subal Sakha said, all right, Radharani, you take my garments. And he gave his dhoti kurta, his turban, everything to Srimati Radharani. He's telling you put all this on and now you give me your sari. I'll put on your sari and remain here. And they exchanged clothes. So then how to get out? Because the keen eyes of Radharani's mother-in-law, Jatila, and her sister-in-law, Kutila, they were there on Radharani all the time. Now, how to get out? So, because Radharani was dressed in these clothes, then Subal Sakha told her that, pick the calf, hold the calf on your breast like this, and then go. Then Subal Sakha had come to get his calf. So then she said, she did actually as what Subal Sakha said. And then dressed in that form of Subal Sakha, she picked up the calf and she took it and then she passed. And when she came where Jatila was sitting, Radharani, as Subal Sakha said, Mother, I got my calf. Oh, you got your calf? All right. Very good. Now go away. Get out. And Radharani got out and went to Radhakund to meet Krishna. And it was a very happy union. So, now what happened that when Subal Sakha was inside wearing Radharani's sari, how was he supposed to get out? There was another problem. And then what happens? Generally at noon time, what happens? All these, these Vrajabhumi gopis, they all go to Surya Kund to offer puja to Surya Dev. So now that was the time when all these damsels of Vrajabhumi came out from their houses. So Jatila called out, Radharani, oh daughter-in-law, please come out. Aren't you going to Surya Kund to offer puja to Surya Dev? And imitating Radharani's wife, Subal Sakha said, yes, mother, I am going. And in this way then, Subal Sakha got out of the house and went to Radhakund. And Krishna became very happy. Because Subal Sakha brought Radharani before him, Krishna looked at Subal and both of them were laughing. And then, so this is, Sakhya Ras in Vrajalila. The friends of Krishna are always ready to help Krishna, give him pleasure according to whatever he wants, and the dealings among them. So, so that is how, their love, even the love for the gopis love for Krishna, or Krishna's love for the Krishna's love for the gopis becomes more and more condensed and more and more enchanting. So, Radha is always doing Krishna's Kirtana. So, when we say now that Radharani has Rati also and Prema also for Krishna. So, Krishna is Rasa Swarupa, Rasamay. He is the form and reservoir of all rasas. And Krishna Prema is only available in Golok Vrindavan. It is actually Chinmay Vastu, completely transcendental. There is nothing material about Krishna Prema. It is Achintya Tattva. Achintya Tattva means inconceivable. हमारे समझ से परे है. So when the first Ankur or the first rise of that Prema is known as Rati. So when we say that when Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Or even in fact, Srila Narottam Das Thakur also says that Golokera Prema Dhana Hari Nama Sankirtana Ratina Janmila Kene Tayah. The Harinam Sankirtan does not belong to this material world. It is coming from Golok Vrindavan. The Mahamantra is mentioned in Radha Tantra, the residents of Vrajabhumi, especially the gopis, Radharani, they are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And that only, that Golokera Premadhana has come down, and Gaur and Nitai have bought this holy name on this from that Vraja Bhumi to this particular Bhumi of India. And what is that prema? So he says that Anand Chinmaya Rasa Premir Akhya. Prem is actually the transcendental bliss or mellow that is emanating from that, Chinmay Ras, which is a transcendental love. And he's saying that this love is, this love is the loving dealings between the lover and the beloved in the form of a loving tie, or you can say bondage. Bhava Bandhana, that is the loving tie, or Bhava Bandhan. For us, it is Bhava Bandhan, and over there it is Bhava Bandhan. So it is not temporary, it is not material. That love is actually eternal love that is there, and it is more condensed, and it is more, what do you say, more intense, that love is that. And that is why if you see, even Krishna in the Gita says, Tesham satati yuktanam bhajati priti purvakam, and satata bhajata pir, जो प्रेम के साथ मेरा भजन करता है, and I give him that intelligence by which he will come to me. So this prema, this prema nama sankirtan is as sweet as honey. And Radharani is telling one of her sakis, na jani ketika madhu shama name ache, go badana chadite nahi pare. She's saying that, see, what sweet honey is there in this name of Sham, my tongue does not want to leave it only. And like Radharani also does not want to leave chanting Krishna's name. So there is constantly, pouring of intense love for Krishna. And actually there are levels of this prema also, that when it becomes, sweet and hot, and when it becomes condensed, and when it becomes more condensed, and rag becomes anuraga, and all those levels, where it reaches, where you go till that ecstatic symptoms, and where Krishna also says that, I cannot, when bhava becomes more condensed, it becomes mahabhava. So there are divisions also of mahabhava. There is ruda mahabhava, there is adi ruda mahabhava, modanakhya bhava, and madanakhya bhava. And actually it's a very big topic. So in the Ujjwal Neelmani, this is said to further understand that we have to, if somebody wants to read, they can read this Ujjwal Neelmani. But it is said that this Madanakhya Bhav is the topmost. And this Madanakhya Mahabhav is actually Srimati Radharani. She is the personification of Madanakhya Mahabhav. That Madanakhya Bhav is her property. It is not available with any other gopi or with any other living entity also. This bhav is only with Srimati Radharani. And that is why Krishna becomes indebted to the gopis. When the gopis, sing, and when the gopis heard that sweet singing of Krishna's flute, they came running to meet him in the dead of the night. He said that, I cannot repay you back. I cannot pay back. And I'm not able to pay back for your spotless service, even within a one lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond, imagination, because you have worshipped me with cutting off all your domestic ties, which are very difficult to break. And therefore, I am very much indebted to you all. So, it is Vishuddha Prema. The gopis are very much Vishuddha Prema. So the gopis are Krishna's internal potencies. Swakiya Shakti hai wo. But like they act like Parakiya. So Swakiya means actually wedded and Parakiya means unwedded, you can say in English language. So the gopis are the Swarupa Shakti. And even with Srimati Radharani, Krishna says that, Krishna says that the wealth required to pay this debt back is not with me. I'm not able, I do not have the treasury only. That I will be able to repay that to Radharani. Now, this wealth only, who has? Srimati Radharani has. She is the sole proprietor of Madanakya Mahabhav. And this wealth is not available anywhere. So then Krishna says, what to do? How can I repay back, Srimati Radharani? So I must either beg, borrow, or steal. But if I beg, Radharani will never give it to me. If I borrow, she will never allow me. So what I should do? I must steal. And that is why Krishna becomes the supreme stealer, the supreme thief. If you steal, then you will be put into jail and as a criminal. So when Krishna is stealing, it is so very nice and beautiful. Everything is beautiful with Krishna, the supreme thief. And then Krishna entered into the storehouse in the core heart of Srimati Radharani and stole that Madanakya Mahabhav. And when Krishna gets that Madanakya Mahabhav, that Radha Bhav, then automatically his mood changes. His complexion changes into molten gold. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. He becomes Gauranga. So when Radha Krishna become one, Radha Bhav predominates him. He cries like Radharani, feeling that separation, feeling the pangs of separation. Radharani is crying. Similarly, Gaurang Mahaprabhu is also crying. And this is actually Premarati. So, out of mercy, Lord Hari takes away everything. Hari means, one who takes away everything. He steals the mind and the heart of the devotees. Oh, this is a good stealing. कि हमारा मन हर लिया है हरि ने. It's a very beautiful thing. That is called, we just had this for Purushottam month and we said Chaurashtakam. So Chaurak Ganya, he's the best of the thieves, the supreme thief. So, he has stealen. This is a very special favor actually. It's a special favor that the Krishna is doing to the devotees. And he's the best of the thieves. Vraje prasidam navaneet chauram gopangana mana chadukul chauram अनेक जन्म चरित पाप चौरम. हमारे पाप भी क्या कर रहे हैं? वो चुरा ले रहे हैं. He's stealing our sins also. And further he says, that he's stealing our assets, bank balance, property, mind, and then you're running away. And that's how this Chaurashtakam was there. So Krishna gets pleasure. Yes, I've got something nice, He becomes very happy. He becomes very pleased. And he's stealing away. So he steals away many things actually. But primarily he's stealing away the hearts. He's stealing the hearts of the gopis. He's stealing the hearts of the gopas and, the devotees also. So, just as Krishna also is expanding himself into, his Swamshas, personal expansion, then Radharani also is expanding herself. Radharani expands herself in the form of Lakshmi in the Vaikuntha, the Mahishis, and she is expanding herself into the 16,000 queens of Krishna in Dwarka. She's expanding herself in the form of gopis in the Vraj Bhumi. And these all are actually expansions of Srimati Radharani. And these expansions, what are they actually expanding for? They're expanding to give actually pleasure to Krishna. So, in one of the books of Krishna Leela, I don't remember the source properly, but it is an authorized book where it is saying that uh, 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 there is a gopi named Vrinda Devi, and she had a lot of devotion for Krishna, and she expands and she is giving actually, she's giving pleasure to Krishna. So then, mm, uh, that gopi is actually Vrinda Devi. And one day, what happened is that this was it Vrinda Devi or was it Yamuna? I'm a little confused about that story. Hmm. I think it was. Uh, I think it was Yamuna Devi only. I don't remember much because I cannot just say. I think it was Kalindi. Yes, she was Kalindi. Actually, Yamuna only, but I wanted to the right name. So, mm, so then one day, this Kalindi Krishna was meeting Kalindi, and then when when Krishna went to meet Kalindi, then Radharani was very angry again. He's telling you go stay there only. And Radharani was thinking that Krishna has gone to meet Chandravali. Now she misunderstood him. And that's how Krishna, when he meets these different gopis, and then if he comes late, then Radharani is a little angry. And that's how Radharani also, becomes. So when when Krishna is 11 years old in Rajabhumi, and that is the most beautiful form of Krishna. So all these gopis, they want to see this form of Krishna and not any other form, because that is actually, can say that it is Kishora Krishna, the most beautiful form of Krishna. And then everybody is attracted to this form of Krishna. So in other forms, Krishna never becomes dependent on anyone. But in this form, he becomes dependent on his dear devotees. Then only in this form, he becomes Bhakta Vatsal. And then, this Kishore form, and then his pleasure giving potency is known as Halladini. The condensed form of Halladini Shakti is actually Prema. And when this Halladini Shakti becomes more condensed, it assumes a form that is Prema. There is more condensed form, and that Prema is Mahabhav, and that is Srimati Radharani, Mahabhavamai. Krishna Premara Guni Bhuta Avastitaha. So if Krishna Prem assumes a most condensed form, that is actually Srimati Radharani. The Halladini Shakti is Radharani, and it is giving pleasure to both Krishna also and the devotees also. Therefore, the devotees are engaged in loving service to Krishna, and out of that service they get pleasure. बोलते ना सेवा में आनंद मिलता है. So that Halladini Shakti gives that pleasure. Otherwise, if that pleasure was not there, then nobody would get engaged in Krishna's loving service. So Halladini Shakti gives pleasure to both Krishna and the devotees. And the Radharani is the embodiment of that Halladini Shakti. And Radharani only thinks of pleasure of Krishna as happiness for Krishna. She never thinks of herself. So Radha is Govinda Anandini. Radharani's one more name is Govinda Anandini. She gives pleasure to Govinda. And Govinda gives pleasure to the cows and the senses. But here is Radharani giving Anand to Govinda also. And that is why Krishna only belongs to Srimati Radharani. Krishna does not belong to anybody. So he does not belong to anybody. He belongs only to Srimati Radharani, and this is actually Krishna. Therefore, Krishna manifests himself in his own complete swarupa before Srimati Radharani. So, Krishna has many wives, and they are divided into three groups. One is Lakshmi, one is Mahisi Gan, and one is Vrajagan. So, the Lakshmis in Vaikuntha, the queens in Dwarka, and the gopis in Vrajabhumi. And in Dwarka, Krishna once manifested his Jwara Leela. Like Jwara Leela means he was shivering with high fever. And then Narad Muni came and saw Krishna shivering. He said, what happened? What happened? He said, high fever. Then Narad Muni said that I will get some medicine for you. Then you will be cured of that fever. Krishna said, oh Narad, there is no medicine of my this fever that I have. Only one medicine is there. If you can get it, then I'll be cured. If you go to some of my devotees and beg some dust from their feet, this is the medicine for me. No other medicine will work for my body. Narada thought that here in Dwarka, so many hundreds of thousands of queens, Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jamati, so many are there, they will give. But none of them actually gave the dust of their lotus feet that he has. So he's saying, because these queens also saying, oh, what are you saying? He is our husband. How can we give the dust from our feet? We'll go to hell. We cannot even imagine to give. No, we are not going to give. And then, Narad Muni goes many places, but nobody is giving. Then, that love is actually shrunken in Dwarka. And therefore, they are not ready to give that, dust. Then Narad Muni goes to Vrajabhumi. And then seeing Narad Muni, all the gopis ran to him. Because gopis thought that he's giving us information about Krishna. And he's come here to give information about Krishna. And Narad Muni says, I have some information. Krishna is very sick right now and he has high fever. And I have come to you for medicine. Then the gopis are saying, what medicine? If someone of you can give the dust of your feet, that is the medicine. Krishna will smear it on his body and it will become cured. Oh, that medicine, all right, take from me. Immediately they're ready. At that time, there was some competition between them. Both, all of the gopis saying, take from me, take from me, take from me. And actually, this is love for Krishna. So, they are saying that if the dust from the feet is required for Krishna, we are ready to go to hell also and suffer. We are prepared for that also. But let our Krishna be cured and let him be happy. And that is the difference between the love of the Dwarka queens and the Vraj gopis. So, there is a difference between the dealings of the the two parties, that the queens of Dwarka also and the gopis of Vrajabhumi also. And that is why Madhurya Rasa Bhakta Mukhya Vraja Gopi Gane. So that is their Madhura Ras. They are ready to go, anywhere. They're ready to go to even hell also. And there are many other, pastimes where, Krishna and Radharani have, and they want to relish being with each other, and they want to experience all the time. They want to be with each other, but what happens is that the love in separation is more intense than love in union. So, that is why Srimati Radharani is experiencing always Vipralamba Bhav. Okay. So she is all the time experiencing this Vipralamba Bhav for Krishna, that she is always in separation. So, uh, you know, while there is a conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai, and they were discussing about the qualities of Srimati Radharani, and there they say that Srimati Radharani always bears in her heart the element of prema, vaichitya, feeling of fear of separation. And when she is in the company of her, of her consort. So this is due because she has a very soft heart. So that is why she feels always insecure. Externally, though, she is a young girl between 16 and, 16, 18. But she's always moving around, about while she's resting her hand on her shoulders of her friend and all, So she's always being lovingly attended by all her other sakhis also. But in her mind is always full of these transcendental pastimes with Krishna. Her constant cheerfulness is actually the fragrance of her body, and she's constantly thinking about Krishna and remembering Krishna all the time. And she's all the time remembering the name, fame, qualities of Krishna. And all the time she's thinking that, just a minute. All the time she's thinking that, how will I please Krishna? This is her mood. She's thinking that when will I meet Krishna? When will I please Krishna? When will Krishna come, and what will I do? Because see, even when I previously also said that um, uh, that Radharani has not repeated even a single item from time immemorial. Means what? That um, mm, Radharani every day cooks chappan bhog in different prahars also. And when she is cooking, she prepares 56 items. Now recently we also had 56 bhoga in our house. And cooking all that was a big exercise for us, because we are not used to cooking 56 items in a day. At the most we'll cook 4 or 5 items on one time, right? But not 56 items. But I was just thinking that day about Srimati Radharani, that how is it that she can cook 56 items, and uh, 56 items, and that too 3 to 4 times in a day she is cooking, and those 56 items have not repeated any time, not even once. Those 56 items have repeated. So this is actually Srimati Radharani's glory, that she has in it. And of course she has many other qualities also, where mm, she is able to win the heart of not only Krishna, but she wins the heart of all others also. How she is only very chaste to only Krishna. If you see, Radharani does not show her face to anybody other than Krishna. So she will show her face only to Krishna. No other man she will show her face to. And that is her chastity towards Krishna. That she does not show her face to anybody other than Krishna. So uh, that this is one of the glories of Radharani. And uh, and even in the Bhagavatam also, if you see throughout the Bhagavatam, Srila Shukdev Goswami has not mentioned a single time Srimati Radharani's name. Not even a single time. Why? Because he knew that the moment I will say the word Radha, indirectly is taken once, but if he knew that if I will take Radharani, then I will go into some ecstasy. And currently I have to serve Parikshit Maharaj. And currently, I have to serve Parikshit Maharaj because he is actually leaving his body and going to his onward journey. So that is why Shukdev Goswami did not, what do you say, utter Srimati Radharani's word. So, so one day what happened? A person is walking along and he's carrying a pot on his head filled with food. So then a crow comes and some food from that pot is not, satisfied, and he picks, and then, he gives it to actually Vaman Dev. And Bali gave everything to Vaman. So he treated very nicely. So he offered respects to also Vaman Dev. So then he bound up, Bali Maharaj with the ropes belonging to Varuna. So Vaman Dev, you might think that, why this story I am saying now, but because Radharani is actually saying this story. And Radharani is telling this story to one of her Sakhis. So then, this particular story is that Krishna is bound only by love and surrender. Bali Maharaj surrendered everything. And when he surrendered everything, then actually, Krishna gave him. In fact, if you see, Krishna became even the, what do you say, doorkeeper of the, what do you say, the Narkaloka. And that's how Bali Maharaj had captured Vaman Dev by his sincerity. So Radharani is, uh, uh, Radha Krishna's pastimes are definitely very difficult to understand, that mystery, behind those Krishna's pastimes. And, anybody who's, having tattva, or they can understand. So Radharani will always have feelings of this viraha dukkha, this acute pangs of separation, from Krishna. And constantly, she will think that I want to meet Krishna, I want to meet Krishna, I want to, uh, uh, you know, be with him all the time. And it is not easy to understand, but in Chaitanya-Caritamrita, in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Radharani spoke her feelings before a bumblebee. The same feelings developed in Mahaprabhu also, because Mahaprabhu is also in the role of Radharani. So Srila Prabhupada said that Radharani was just like a mad woman, crazy for Krishna. It is a transcendental madness. It is called Divya Unmada, and acute pangs of separation from Krishna. So many times Radharani used to faint out of separation for Krishna. And these pangs of separation, विरह की जो अग्नि थी, वो इतनी असहनीय थी, it was so intolerable, that such development of love is very wonderful, and that is only love. That love is called Madanakhya Mahabhav, and that bhav is like actually an ocean. And mm, and when Krishna, he comes to, when Radharani sees Krishna enjoying the company of women of Mathura, and then leaving them, he comes to Vrajabhumi, and Radharani sees that Krishna has come, then she manifests her mana, Abhiman. And Krishna tries his best to perform, pacify Radharani, to break her, Abhiman, but he fails. He goes away and then he sends a messenger, a black bumblebee he sends to break Radharani's man. The bumblebee comes and moves around, Radharani while singing. And in her very, sulky vision, Radharani sees all these things. Radharani says that, you know, Krishna has come to us. He, he's not been seen, but, uh, then he goes back to Mathura and he has so many lovers and he's coming and he's then going. And then Radharani has this very intense thought, and then she sees in her that sulky eye these damsels of Mathura, and she also sees Krishna enjoying in that company. And then Radharani becomes more, in an anxiety. And actually, this is Viraha Dukha for Radharani, feeling, acute pangs of separation. And then Radharani sees that bumblebee moving around her lotus feet. And she sees that there is a yellow color flower that bumblebee is sitting on. And, that's how Radharani, tells the bumblebee that, see, Krishna is the reservoir of so many defects and faults, and I don't want his association. And then Uddhava comes and is standing near Radharani, and Uddhava is hearing that everything that Radharani is saying, but Radharani cannot see Uddhava. She only sees that black bumblebee, and she's like, "Get out from here! Uh, you know, uh, you're the friend of that crooked person, Krishna. Don't touch me. You're standing before me, but you please get out. I don't want to see you. You are that your master, that Madhupati. You know, he's not reliable. I cannot trust him anymore." So Radharani, says to her other sakhis also that don't think this messenger is very simple. Inko halke mein mat lena. He's not as simple as he's appearing. He's drunk and, and it is all is talking to Bumblebee, okay? And, that, your master, is, very cupty. He's, he's a cheater. He's a crooked person. Now, hearing everything that Radharani said, Uddhava thought that I shall go and offer that obeisances at the lotus feet of Radharani. Now, thinking this, he took one step forward and Radharani took one step forward, and Radharani could not see Uddhava. But with her sulky eyes, she only saw the bumblebee. And Radharani said that, see, you're the friend of the most crooked. Don't touch my feet. If you want to offer obeisances, go to a distance and you offer obeisances. And then don't come near me if you're drunkard, and don't touch my feet also. All this she's saying to the bumblebee, okay? And then when Radharani is, said this, the bumblebee moved away to some distance and went in another direction. And then, so many times, this bumblebee tries to touch the lotus feet, but she always says, get out, get out. And Uddhava over here, he's thinking that, yeah, I have come over here as a messenger and I have no right to touch the feet. And Radharani, has said it, through the bumblebee. How will I, even touch her feet? So then, Radharani has that man, Abhiman, and, she is thinking that, okay, uh, she's telling the bumblebee, you're a crooked person, you're a duplicitous person, and So Uddhava is completely bewildered that how is it possible, that Radharani is in. But check out Radharani's bhav that she is seeing in that bumblebee also, Krishna. And actually this particular bumblebee, I remember it is called Brahmar Gita. And this Brahmar Gita is very famous actually. I think it is in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. And Radharani is telling that, see, you should not, you not allow, Krishna to come near me now. I am done with him. I don't want to see his face. I don't want to, talk to him anymore. And she becomes again very angry, with Krishna. And then in that mood only, then Krishna comes and he pacifies her, and that story goes a little longer as such. Like, so this is Srimati Radharani, who is completely in love with Krishna, and she's always with she's trying to serve Krishna, she's trying to all the time give pleasure to Krishna. So now we as devotees also, we should see that how can we give that pleasure to Krishna? How can we, see that what is the pleasure? And yeah, of course, see, her husband, is actually Chaya husband. So, sorry, Srimati Radharani, when she goes to her husband, her shadow goes to her husband. The original Radharani is always with Krishna only. So that's how the shadow can show anything. But the original Radharani, she does not show her face to anybody except Krishna. That way. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, queries, doubts, you can ask me. It went a little longer. I think it went up to 2 hours. I was thinking that maybe you could have only for 1.5 hours, but this went on to 2 hours. Yeah, like Mother Sita's shadow went to Ravana. Yes, Lakshmi Narayan Prabhu. Absolutely, absolutely correct. Yes, absolutely. So anybody has any questions, doubts, queries? Okay, so thank you so much. Srimati Radharani ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrindi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining in. So tomorrow the same katha, of course I'm not going to repeat it, but the same will be in Hindi from 7:30 to 9. So if you'll have somebody in Hindi, you can, give them the link. Yeah. Hare Krishna.